I love good stories about time travel. I'm here today to take you through three more books that I've read and really enjoyed in this subgenre of science fiction. I'm Les Johnson, your friendly neighborhood rocket scientist and science fiction author. And the first book I'd like to talk about today is this great gem called Shadows of Ashland by Terrence Green. It takes place in my hometown of Ashland, Kentucky, during the 30s, and it is amazing what this author does, taking us back to feel what it was like in that time period when things were happening in the country that were changing the world dramatically, and especially in Middle America. I highly recommend the book. I stumbled across it by accident in a drugstore several years ago, picking it up, wondering if the Ashland mentioned was the same Ashland in which I grew up, and it was, and it's well worth the read. The next book by Ken Grimwood is called Replay. If you've been to college, lived a little bit of life, and thought, man, if I could do that differently, my life would turn out better, worse, about the same, whatever the case may be, then this book is for you. It's about a man who gets transported back into his own body with all the memories of his life, but he gets to relive life beginning from college. What would you change? Fascinating story, a lot of fun, experimental, highly recommend it. Next, I'd like to talk about the 1632 series from Eric Flint. This one has become a big seller, many sequels written, many writers writing books in this series, and it basically explores the what if a small town in West Virginia populated by spunky, tough coal miners and their families were suddenly transported back to Middle Europe in 1632. How would that change the world? How would the introduction of their technologies, their social mores, the culture change everything? Eric did a fantastic job. I highly recommend this book and every book in the series. And I would be remiss if I didn't close with my own entry into the time travel saga, the Spacetime War. I'd like to think that I put an interesting twist on this whole notion of what space-time is and what might happen if time travel is really possible. There you go. I can't say this is the last session that I'll have about time travel books. I did one previously. If you're interested, scroll back through and find one of my earlier posts. I'll be back later with other book recommendations that you might enjoy.